Gentleman from Texas is recognized for 2 minutes.
Well, I thank the gentlelady. I thank the Speaker. I would note that my colleague on the other side of the aisle from Pennsylvania referred to the crisis that we are experiencing on the southern border as a, quote, fake crisis. I just want everybody in America to understand our colleagues on the other side of the aisle believe that what we are experiencing on the southern border is a fake crisis. Said, quote, demonizing migrants, criticizing Governor Abbott for having to deal with the crisis that they call fake. Governor Abbott, yes, moving migrants from Texas to other parts of the country, just like the mayor of El Paso, just like the mayor of New York. The mayor of New York, who, by the way, exists in a sanctuary city and then wants to come begging the federal government for money. That's the truth. We know precisely what is going on the southern border. And my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, they're not just in denial, they're literally making up facts. They're saying things that are completely untrue. Did the state of Pennsylvania have to appropriate $10 billion? $10 billion that the state of Texas has had to do to make up for the fact that federal government is not only refusing to enforce the law, but is actively participating, as this president is doing, and as the Secretary of Homeland Security is doing, while he lies to be under oath in the Judiciary Committee, actively participating in the trafficking of human beings into the United States, the trafficking of little girls into the sex trafficking trade. Was it a fake crisis for the 53 migrants who were cooked in a tractor trailer last August in San Antonio, Texas? Is that fake? Is it a fake crisis for the 856 migrants who died along the Rio Grande in South Texas and in Arizona last year? Is that fake? Is it fake for the little girl that's sitting in a stash house in Houston, San Antonio, New York, or Philadelphia right now, being raped by her captors? Or in Fort Worth, Texas, as a federal judge articulated in a federal opinion just 2 months ago?
Mr. Speaker, I yield an additional minute to Mr. Roy.
Gentleman is recognized for 1 minute.
I thank the gentlelady. Of course it's not fake, and we're having it impact the entire country, and that is why I support the gentleman's bill, Schools Not Shelters. And yes, we've passed other legislation like H.R. 2, which would address the problem, but which my colleagues on the other side of the aisle and this president refused to do. We are doing this, of course, jointly while we were trying to move the FAA reauthorization. I support that bill too, but we must include slots. I just want to be very clear for the people of San Antonio, for cities outside of the perimeter that was created in 1966, to increase the slots at Reagan less than 2% is critically important for the American people to have access to their nation's capital, including San Antonio, with 1.6 million people, the 7th largest city in the country, to have access to Ronald Reagan National Airport. So I hope we will adopt that amendment so that the FAA bill can move strongly to the Senate and get passed. I yield back.